Welcome once again to the Speakeasy. And in case you may have forgotten, or for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, the Speakeasy is where Izzy speaks, and you listen. And what is the subject of my Speakeasy today? It is something that is very, very near and dear to my heart, as it should be to the hearts of all Americans. And that is the federal government's interference, the Justice Department's interference, Barack Obama's interference in people's right to work, in the right for a company to set up shop in whatever state they want to set shop up in, without interference from the federal government. As many of you may know, Boeing, a very big company, has plants there in Washington State. And they were going to build another plant in Washington State, but they had negotiations with the union, and they didn't come to terms. They couldn't come to terms. So instead, Boeing built their new plant in South Carolina, which is what is called there a right-to-work state. What is a right-to-work state, you might ask? A right-to-work state is a state where you have the right to work whatever you want to, whether you belong to a union or not. Nobody can tell you, you have to join my union before you can go to work at this particular place. And South Carolina is such a state. So Boeing built a new plant in South Carolina where a few hundred people are going to be employed. Now, did they lay off anybody in their Washington facility? No. Boeing didn't lay anybody off in their Washington facility. Nobody lost any jobs. They built a new plant and created new jobs in South Carolina where people need work. So everything sounds kosher, no? Good thing Boeing's doing. I would think so. I know the members of my Slapawitz syndicate would think so. Anybody with any kind of brains there in the head, any kind of seckles in the head there, would know and would think that this is a good thing. A company is creating a few hundred jobs there for people who don't have work now. In this economy, can you imagine? Now you can get a job in a good company with benefits and everything. So what does the federal government do? What does the National Labor Relations Board do? What does the Justice Department do? They sue Boeing. They say, we don't want you to open up a plant in South Carolina. We're going to take you to court. Who are you to open up a plant in South Carolina where the workers may not want to be in a union? What kind of mishigas is this? Who ever heard of such a thing? That in the United States of America, the federal government tells a company they cannot open up a plant in a certain state because that state tells its citizens they have the right to work someplace without joining a union. This is something that you would hear, or you might think would happen in a place like the old Soviet Union, or maybe in Venezuela there. In a communist country maybe. The government tells you where you can work, where you cannot work. Or the government tells you, you can open up a company here, but you can't open up a company there. What's the matter there? Barack Obama, what's the matter, Ed Calder? Are the people in Washington any better than the people in South Carolina? Do you represent them, but you don't represent the people in South Carolina? It's okay for the people in Washington to get a job, but the people in South Carolina, they should stand on bread lines and collect unemployment because you think that they have to join a union? Only lame brain, insane schlemiels in Washington would come up with such a scheme. And only lame brain, insane schlemiels in Washington would think that the American people are so stupid as to not to know the only reason you're doing that is because the unions have you in their pockets. This is an administration for sale. That's right, I said it. Izzy Slapawitz said it. Bill O'Reilly won't say it. Sean Hannity won't say it. Izzy Slapawitz can say it because he's not on national television. He doesn't have to be politically correct. Izzy Slapawitz would say that the unions have the Barack Obama and his administration in their pockets. Because that's the only reason why this administration would sue a company for opening up a state, for opening up a plant in a state that allows workers to choose whether they want to be in a union or not. Who ever heard of such a thing? Who? This administration is for sale? Tell me something, members of my Slapawitz syndicate. Look in your pockets. I'm looking in mine now. I got some tissues there. Let's see what else. I got one thin dime there that's probably worth about a quarter of a cent in today's money. What else do I got in my pockets here? Oh, you like my outfit here? What else do I have in my pockets? Nothing. No Eric Holder? No Barack Obama? Nothing. Members of my Slapawitz syndicate, you people out there who haven't joined the Slapawitz syndicate yet, look in your pockets. See if Barack Obama is in them. No, he's not in them, but he certainly is in the pockets of the unions. Because if he wasn't, this wouldn't be happening. If Eric Holder wasn't, this wouldn't be happening. And believe you me, the National Labor Relations Board, the Justice Department of the United States is not doing something like this without the complete approval of the administration. Because if you believe that's happening, then I've got a couple of bridges here to sell you. The Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, the Triborough Bridge, oh, excuse me, now it's the Robert F. Kennedy Bridge. The Everett F. Koch Bridge. I'll sell you all of them if you believe that the administration is not behind this. Of course they're behind it. It's ridiculous. And so right now, Izzy Slapawitz is calling on Barack Obama to resign. That's right, resign. And why should you resign? Because you're corrupt. Your administration is corrupt. Eric Holder, resign. Why? Because you're corrupt. You're a corrupt attorney general. You are supposed to be protecting the people in the United States, not forcing them to join unions, not forcing them to pay union dues when they don't want them, not saying that the people in Washington state are better than the people in another state. Not defending one citizen over another there. It's ridiculous. So you should resign. In fact, I'll go one step further there, Barack Obama. You should be impeached. Impeached for allowing this, because if being in the pocket of organized labor is not an impeachable offense, if being in the pocket of organized labor is not what you call there a high crime or misdemeanor, then nothing is an impeachable offense. You should be ashamed of yourself, Barack Obama. You should be ashamed of yourself, Eric Holder. Every member of the National Labor Relations Board, you should all resign or be fired there. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Now, I have every their confidence that the judges are going to throw this out. But it shouldn't even go this far yet. The people who were hired by Boeing to go to work in that South Carolina plant should be able to go to work happy and confident that they now have a job that they didn't have one before. And it isn't up to the Attorney General of the United States or the National Labor Relations Board or the President, because after all, this is your administration there. And ultimately, Barack Obama, the actions of people in your administration you are accountable for. It is not up to you to tell those people they cannot go to vote because they don't belong to a union, or they may or may not choose to belong to a union. This is disgraceful. And I mean what I said. You should be impeached, Barack Obama. Anna Calder, you should resign immediately. You should just walk out of your office. You're the vice attorney general this country's ever had. It's ridiculous. You don't prosecute people for voter intimidation, but you take a company that wants to give people, Americans, jobs, a few hundred jobs there, then you want to take the court and prevent those jobs from happening in South Carolina because you think that these people this company should open up a state in a state that forces their people to join unions if they want to go to vote there. This is a disgrace, and you should be impeached. And if the Congress doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to impeach you for this, I, Izzy Slapawitz, am calling for this impeachment.